We conducted a survey on our Facebook platform to find out some of the questions our students are finding it difficult in mathematics, and these are some of the questions that we had. Someone says that he or she hate to find x, right? So that is the person's issue. Another person says second theorem, followed by trig, logarithm. Some also say simplify as well as change yourself. There are more, so make sure that you stay here to the end of the video. Now, to answer some of these questions, by the way, if you have your special topic that or questions that you are finding difficult, make sure that you join the class by commenting in the comment section below. Right. To answer the first question, that says that you should find x. So, okay, I may agree or disagree with that person by saying finding x. Now, the question here you should be asking yourself is, what exactly is the meaning of the x? Right. So, once you're able to answer that question, I think 60% of the problem is solved, right? So how do you do that? Now, if you are saying this is what I normally do, right? So maybe let's say an iPhone is a common phone in 21st century, right? So the current century. Yeah. So assuming the price of this iPhone here costs you, just for an understanding purpose, right? So $150. Okay, and then after this iPhone you want to buy an iPod, right? So an iPod. So here we iPhone plus. So everything here, assuming the cost of this iPhone is 150, right? So you want to buy an iPod in addition. So everything is costing you, let's say understand it, $500, right? So what do you think? How much does this thing cost? That is the question mark here. How much does it cost, right? How much does it cost? So that is the question you should be asking yourself. So obviously, or very simple, we can say that the price of this iPod here, which is going to be equal to is 350, right? So $350. Is that okay? So 350. So 350, 150 plus 350, everything is going to be equal to $500, right? Now, what will happen? What mathematicians or mathematics does here is that if I say $150 plus x, everything is equal to $500, right? So find, I will say, find x. So back to this question, right? So find this question. Is that okay? So find x. Find x here means that in the way of finding x is to make sure that you are replacing that x by something that you already know. So the reason for this x here is that it could be this marker here, it could be the board here, it could be anything worldwide, right? So anything. So since you want to make the thing in general, not just limiting ourselves to phone or an iPod here, that is why we are introducing the letter what x. Is that okay? So that is where you should find what x comes in, right? Okay, now let's look at the second case here. And by the way, finding x here depending on the situation that you find yourself, right? So different topics has a different way of solving. That is why you need to subscribe to our channel if you haven't what done that. To answer the second question here, that says that you should find, or maybe the person says that he or she is finding it difficult to deal with second theorem. So second theorem here, as the name implies, deal with circle, right? So we all know the definitions of a circle, right? So this is geometric representations of the circle, something in the rounded shape, right? So a round shape. Anything you can see in the real life that goes like this, right? Okay, that's the second. So why the theory? The theory says that something that has already been proved to be true. Is that okay? We know that at the time of making this video, today is Thursday, right? So Thursday. Today is Thursday. Obviously tomorrow will be Friday. Is that okay? By the time of making this video, obviously that will be Friday. This is something that by nature it is true, right? So the theory proved that something that is true within the circle, right? So this is more likely to go to maybe, let's say, architects or maybe designers or something of that nature, right? So to do their design or the way of cutting things and so on and so forth. Now there are some laws that is governing them, right? Every community has a law that is governing them. Is that okay? That is one thing you must understand. But the basic to this circuit theory is to understand the plane geometry, right? So plane geometry. So this plane geometry goes down to what? Angles. So y angle. So let's go back to maybe building something here. Building something. Have you seen the corner of this thing here? Right? How do you cut it? Is that okay? How do you cut the corner of this body? Is that okay? So that is the corner here. So how do you cut it? It must follow some certain rules and measurement, right? So that is very, very important. So you can see that this edge here is far different from this edge. Look at this one here. Okay, that is another shape. So depending on any material that you are looking for, you can even go for any material, the size of the phone, the size of any gadget that you can. Once you are able to conquer the idea behind angles, then combining this angle with a circle, that should be something very easy for you to go with, right? So a question goes like this, because this is the theory says that angles within this shape here, which is a triangle, they all equal to what? 180, right? Is that okay? This angle here, if I add this angle, this one, and then this one, so assuming these are 3 people inside this triangle, is that okay? So there's another one here, and then there's another here, right? So if you sum their ages, right, so everything must be equal to 180. That is what the law is saying. That is why the meaning of the theorem says something that has already been proved to be true, right? Okay, so you can link that to the example here. So you just need to apply it because it has already been proved. If you want us to prove it, just make sure that you comment in the comment section below, right? So we can prove that for you. Now, what will happen if I bring this triangle inside the circle? Right? So that is where it becomes circle theorem. Right? So circuit theorem. So you must know how to apply the law. The law has already been proved for you. You just need to obey them. So in order not to what, cut anything different from what exactly you are looking for, right? So if you want us to solve a full questions on this, maybe try and check the link. We have a full questions on each of these topics and make sure that you follow by, right? Okay. The third question here goes, so we are done with this, and then let's focus on our trig, which is the trigonometry, right? So trigonometry here stands for, the basic way I like to say this thing is we want to know the distance as well as our angle. So there's angle here again, right? So the distance and angle. So if you are here and then you move all the way to some place here, so maybe let's say your friend lives here, so this is your friend, and then this is you. Is that okay? So how many distance have you spent from here to here? Well, how many distance have you covered? That is the question. So how many is it? Some will say 5 kilometers, and so on and so forth. Depends. It depends. Is that okay? So this one goes forward a distance, right? So what will happen if you got here? You make a 10, right? At what degrees are you turning before you get to, let's say, a premise here? Maybe this could be a mat here, right? So a mat, is that okay? So a mat here, or maybe shopping mall, and so on and so forth. So you are turning at certain angle before you go to this point. So the combinations of the two will give us what? This trigonometry. So the trigonometry, there are some of the things, the tools that you are going to use to determine exactly the distance as well as the angles that what you are turning, or you have covered with the distance. So those things also, the short form of this one, that's what sometimes we call the SOHCAHTO, right? So SOHCAHTO. So this is the tool that we are going to, that's the sine theta, that's equals opposite over what, the hypotenuse. And then this, you have a video on this. We are not going to teach this, but here we want to give you the surface, the basic things that you need to know before you can proceed, right? Now, where do you apply this SOHCAHTO? That is one question. What you have to know exactly where you are going to apply what this SOHCAHTO. Is that okay? This SOHCAHTO applies to the angle, or maybe a triangle. That is what a right angle triangle. Is that okay? So what do you call a right angle triangle? One side of the triangle is what, 90 degrees. So this side, this is the symbol of that, right? So taking the measurement here, this side has to be 90 degrees before you can apply this SOHCAHTO on that. So here is the question. You see, if you are standing here, this side will be opposite, and then always the longest side is, I believe some of you or majority of you know these things already. So the longest side has the hypotenuse, and then down here, that's what we are calling what the adjacent, right? By the way, you may try and check that link for the full questions on how we go about. So what will happen if this thing here is not a right angle triangle? Right, so that is where the sine rule as well as the cosine rules comes in. These two guys, that's where they come in. Is that okay? So if the triangle that you are dealing with is not a right angle triangle, that is where this guy comes in. Is that okay? So if you want us to solve the practical question, just make sure that you subscribe to the channel or you comment in the comment section below for a full tutorial on that. Oh, by the way, you may check the playlist. You may have a full problems or solved pure exams questions solved on this platform. If you're already on this channel, you know that recently we talked about logarithm, right? So logarithm, yeah, is something. It may look simple, right? So that's very, very simple. So what is the importance of these two here? What is the importance of the logarithm? So the way I like to explain that is logarithm help us to know the cause of something, right? So maybe this is a very simple example that I normally use. So maybe your success, right? So what do you think would be the cause of what your success? Right? So the work of this logarithm is to determine what caused your success or maybe your failure, which I don't normally want to do. But sometimes failure is good, right? So failure is good in a real life. That makes you to push up or learn more. Okay, so if you fail in life, that is good, right? So it's very, very good to fail in life. Once you fail, it opens your eye for you to know the next step to take. So if you fail today, be happy that you fail. So next time, you know the decision that you are going to take. If you fail to fail, that's where you continue to fail forever. So once you fail, then you make the correction, you keep on going, right? So especially in mathematics, you have to make sure that you try more examples and then embrace that failure so that you can easily make a success of in life. So what caused your success here? That is what logarithm says. So log of your success here, that is going to be equal to the cause, right? Or the effect. Is that okay? So what caused your success? So logarithm of success here, that is equal to the cause. So maybe I normally use focus, right? So if you focus in life, you can easily achieve that success that you are looking for. Maybe having a better grade in mathematics. That is what logarithm does. So log of, let's say log of, this is a very simple. I normally use log of 8. Let's say base 2 here, that should be equal to 3, right? So now this is the base. So what it means that 2 raised to the power 3, that is equal to 8. So for simplicity, that should going to be 2 multiplied by 2 and then multiplied by 2. That should be 4 and then what? And then 8. Is that okay? This is 8. Right? So this guy here is 8. Right? Very, very simple. So very, very simple. It means that if you're able to spend like 2 hours per day on it 3 consecutive times, it's likely that you are going to have a success of what 8 over 10 out of what or maybe in the field of mathematics or any field that you wish, right? So by the way, this is just for understanding people. So the work of logarithm here is to help you determine the cause of something, what brings what the outcome. That is what logarithm does. So there are some of the rules that is governing them, like addition, divisions, and so on and so forth. By the way, there's a link in the video, right? So there's a link in this under this video. Try and check out how to do the mathematical aspect of the logarithm. Simplify. So we are done with logarithm. Simplify, as the name implies. Simplify means that you should make the thing very, very simple, right? So very simple. That's the meaning. Simple meaning behind what? Simplify. So to make the thing very simple. So if you are someone who wants to better or maybe understand mathematics very well, is it learning mathematics with checking your phone notifications, right? So maybe your WhatsApp notifications, Instagram, Twitter, and so on and so forth. It's not accepted. It's not allowed. Is that okay? It's not like you are making the things complicated. You are making learning mathematics very, very complicated. So how can you simplify that? That is the key. So bringing that concept to the mathematics field is that we want to simplify. Let's say n square minus what? N square, everything divided by n minus n. This is a complicated life here, so we want to make it what? Very simple. How do you do that? That is the question here. You see, you must know something to apply, right? So what do you know here? That is the question, right? So what do you know? This may look like a difference of two squares, or maybe in order not to bring that technical term here, what do you know? How do you say this is square, this is square? It means that this is 2, this is 2, right? So in order to simplify, you have to simplify this, breaking this exponent here to go down to make it simple. Is that okay? So making that simple is if you know the answer to this thing, make sure that you give me the answer in the comment section below, right? So to end this video, the last one is change of subject. So what I normally do here is that if it is a equal to sign here, maybe I have m squared plus x, everything is equal to square root of s. This is just for a very understanding purposes. Okay, not other. So we want to make the subject. What does it mean? What does it mean? We want the m here to stand alone. That is the meaning of making the m the subject. So what I mean, what do I mean by that? So what I mean by that, considering this wall here, this guy here, this equal to sign here to be the wall in between these people and then these people. You see, making m stand alone means that we want this guy to vanish as well as this guy also to vanish, so that m will be the chief driver on the left hand side. That's going to drive everybody that is on the right hand side of the equation. But the question here is, how do you do that?